We've reached the midway point of the college football season. Postseason aspirations are starting to take shape. Both WSU and Idaho will look for big wins on the road this week, and Eastern Washington is looking to get back on track. We'll start with WSU, who's coming off a loss to then number 6 USC. But what hurts more from that loss is both Nakia Watson and Renard Bell sustaining injuries that will keep them out for a while. This week, the Cougs are on the road again and again, underdogs at Oregon State on Saturday. The Beavers are also 4-2 this season and are 3.5-point favorites to beat the Cougs. Oregon State's offense is built around running the football. The Beavers have averaged 181 yards on the ground per game. For WSU, this week is all about winning in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Who's going to win the line of scrimmage? Number one, first and foremost. And I think that's what they hang their hat on. And we need to make sure we're prideful about that too. You know, I think it's on both sides of the ball. I don't say that just from a defensive to offensive perspective. When we sit here next week or whenever we get back together, whoever wins that line of scrimmage will have a big advantage to winning this football game.
Washington State at Oregon State will kick off at 6 p.m. on Saturday and can be watched on the Pac-12 network. The Idaho Vandals will head out to Missoula to face the Montana Grizzlies in an old rivalry matchup. The Vandals haven't won in this rivalry since way back in 1999. Coach X said this week, rivalries are not rivalries when one team always wins. Well, the Vandals everywhere are hoping that the X era can change that. Montana is arguably the best team in the FCS. They can do it all, which is why they are ranked 3rd in the country. The Vandals' plan this week: keep the ball out of Montana's hands.
I think we got to find a way to run the ball to maintain possession. You know, I think they like to run the ball as well, so I think that'll be a big challenge in this game. You know, I think they're number one. I don't know if it's in the whole nation. I know they're number one in the conference. They can only give up about 2.2 yards a rush, which is outstanding. If they win the rushing battle, if they run for a lot more yards than we do, it's going to be very tough to win this game.
Idaho at Montana will kick off at noon on Saturday. You can watch that one on ESPN+. Eastern Washington is 1-4 thus far this season. Can you believe that? To be fair, though, that's in large part due to the gauntlet of a schedule the Eags have played thus far. This week, it doesn't get any easier. EWU welcoming 5th-ranked Sacramento State on the red of Roos Field. The Hornets have averaged 47 points per game this season. It will likely be an offensive shootout. Coach Bess is hoping the Eags can get out to an early lead.
I read somewhere where they're the only FBS or FCS team that has not been behind the entire season. So that's 150, 250 plus teams, and they haven't trailed from behind. So let's get up 3-0 and see how they play. You know, when you haven't done something, it's kind of nice to see how someone reacts to something.
Eastern Washington hosting Sacramento State will kick off at 4 p.m. at Roos Field. That can also be watched on ESPN+. That's it for sports.